Alright, all. We have a nice little 3v3 on the beautiful city of Tarsus. One of my favorite maps, I'll be honest. It is very big, though, and there's a lot of places the enemy can hold you, which makes it a lot of fun. Yeah. But with this 3v3, this was one of two battles I think I wanted to show off, really. About the idea of aggression. uh in attacking, to be honest. But let's get to the army comps. Let's take a look at what we're looking at and see where I've thrown a wrench in everyone's plans. So we'll end with me. First off, we have Galatia right here in the middle. This is brought to us by JW Johnson 16. He's got himself a noble horse general, 3 mercenary Syrian archers, 6 Galatian legionnaires, 1 Galatian nobleman, 7 Galatian swords, and 1 levy freeman. Iceni over here is brought to us by Joe Onnit, 2 heroic nobles including the general, 1 fixed ballista, 1 veteran rider, 2 ambushers which we saw over there along with the veteran rider, 4 Briton slingers, 5 chosen swords, 1 levy freeman, and 3 sword band. Now the last attacking army is one of my favorite ways to play Rome. It's pretty standard for me. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's probably one of the best Rome builds overall, both in terms of killing power and scaring the shit out of the enemy. But that is a Legatus General, 2 Auxiliary African Elephants, 5 Praetorian Guard, 4 Socii Hastati, and 3 Vigiles. I don't know why I keep bringing this unit when I can't pronounce them. But on the defender side, we have a pretty tough defense to fight as well. We have a Gati, brought to us by Armored Scarab, a Verney, brought to us by Eclipse, and a Kush, who doesn't have any wall arty, brought to us by RDX Knight. Now, what I mean about the purpose of aggression, both on attack and defense, is what I want to kind of show off. So it was a very aggressive battle overall. And, to be honest, it was a lot of fun. So, let's get this party started.
By the gods, that smell! They must be from the east with their spicy foods and camel shit. They never wash, and they wipe their arses with sand. Be sure not to shake hands.
God, that caught me off guard. Oh gosh. Well, getting into this, they already have a bit of a movement. Slave infantry coming out of the corner, and we actually have some spear horsemen making their way out here. It looks like a Celtic warrior. No. So we do have a little bit of a sally out. Well, this is why we have those little Vigiles on the side that I expected the cavalry to come from, and Socii Hastati ready to begin. Levy Freeman staying back because obviously they'll lose that fight, but that's going to force them to back off. Now, the one worrying thing is right now this little box isn't too big of a deal because most of our army is back there, so it works out. When the sally out comes, Galatia is, no, in the siege, Galatia's our main mid-tier. I have too many Praetorians and Joe. Iceni. Well, I mean, he has a decent amount of chosen sword band, but Galatian legionnaires and Galatian swords just hit a little different. But Galatia's not given up yet, and neither is Kush coming back out. And we actually have some Falksmen coming in. My poor Vigiles. But immediate square formation. Hold off the onslaught of the Falksmen, hopefully a little better, with the tortoises in front of us. Though that one's getting bullied real hard. And we have a noble horse, taking some initial javelins, Pila, technically. But he's going to be winning that fight pretty handedly, yeah. 37 kills, and he got these slave infantry in as well. He's going to have to force them back because, well, Socii are going to be annoying. And just trying to engage with the low tiers, not trying to bring too many of the high tiers up here. Don't want them to be honest, completely crushed by the noble horse. The Socii's 44 kills, they were able to do a little bit of damage. But this should be the end of this infantry here. Basically trying to make a little bit of a sneak over here and hit these armored horsemen. Galatia's got a few units of levies coming up, and he has a Galatian sword just ready to defend his lands. Did get a little bit of the javelins off, but, well, and some more javelins go off, so we are doing some pretty good damage. Trying to force him down as much as possible. 69 kills, nice. He's up to 71. Now that the infantry's gone, he's got to be very careful with the charges. Missed that volley, pitifully. But yeah, those Foxmen are tearing up my men. So it's going to be up to me to just crush these Foxes. This one's going to have to take the brunt of this. Noble Horseman down to 29 men, but over 100 kills. Crushing a lot of infantry on his own side. This Fox being forced back. But those Noble Horsemen, to be honest, still alive. If they can get the Foxmen in and get a good charge in, they should probably be able to still, yeah. But again, targeting them with Pila as hard as possible because they are the biggest threat. Foxman getting some more kills up to, oh my god, that's over 100 right there. But as you see, nice little javelin volley. He's trying to charge back in. Another good charge, but he's pretty much out. Foxman, of course, getting beat up as well. To be honest, the Foxmen there are just slaughtering. This is the danger. Yeah, 124. Honestly, overall, a very effective sally out with Foxes. A lot of the low tiers are dead. And of course, 38 kills there. And we haven't even seen the Spear Horseman yet. And now there's another Armored Horseman. Or another Noble Horseman. And perfect hit. Those levies are probably dead. And pretty much all my infantry is dead, so the Vigilas have to get into square. Only real path, and even that's not going to do too much. Trying to avoid the javelins. He doesn't want to meet a similar fate to the other one. Yeah, already 57 kills. Untouched. What did those Foxmen end up at? 157 kills for those Foxes. But as you can see, Iceni moving up. Elephants moving up with it to try to put some pressure on them. Galatia's also getting off the towers, but they are fairly far back. But as you can see, a lot of their Galatian swords are getting ready to move up as well. That Bastion Ballista has 114 kills, so it has been doing work, that is for sure. But Galatian swords will be coming on in to see what's going on. I think I accidentally kill a few of them. Let's see. Oh yeah, he's really close to that wall. Didn't lose any there. Yep. I killed a decent amount. Killed about 15. Yep, here comes that Noble Horseman back again. We have the Veteran Rider following up. Yeah. That guy had no javelins left. I was hoping to get that early enough. It took too long. Trying to trap these. So what I'm trying to do was trap those Noble Swordsmen, force them into it, but yeah. That one's holding up a little better, 32 kills. But, I mean, Noble Cavalry, or Noble Horsemen still haven't lost any. They're at 165. Spear Horsemen, routing these boys away. We only have one Vigile left. Yeah, so trying to do as much damage right now to the wall as possible, because those guys are out of javelins as well. We fight our first enemy, a Disciple of a Piedmach, inside the walls. Which is not a good sign if they're leading with Disciples. But of course, with the sally out, they can afford to let some of their more aggressive units out. Because to be perfectly honest, we can't deal with them too much. And yeah, they're already almost at 100 kills. The Veteran Rider coming out to deal with the Spear Horsemen. Elephants there to provide backup if the Spear Horsemen try to go too far. Yeah. They're just getting cut down. Despite the square formation, they're sadly too light to actually do anything. As such, they're getting crushed. Disciples are still carving. Javelins down. Hopefully we can javelin them down, as we cannot get our archers up there fast enough. But Veteran Riders doing what they can, hitting the enemy. He's jumping back and forth. He was trying to use that Mighty Charge to get some damage. But the Veteran Rider is going to lose, but, I mean, he's doing his best to just damage as much of the Spear Horsemen as possible. 100%. Over here, 254 kills. They've lost 2. And he's going to pull away. Smart idea. Keeping them engaged, so the javelins can rain down on the Disciples. They are fresh again, which means the General, yeah, there's the General, which was a Royal Kushite Archer because it was infantry. With that, that side has been cleared up by Gaty. Yeah, not by the attackers, by the defenders. They've cleared that side up. But our real path forward, okay, let's see what we have here. Swordband versus Celtic, okay. Swordband in here, taking the tower. No real aggressive axe. Can't really go this way, so the next path would be this way. Which it looks like that's where some artillery fire was coming down from. Trying to overwhelm the Disciple there at 169 kills. Holy shit. 108 on that. Yep, artillery firing in, trying to do what they can. 88 kills there, 44 on that one. Kills. Looks like we got a Slave Slinger, which is dangerous. Yep, the Mercenary Axe Warriors. They're probably going to push us out if we do not push in. So as such, my Praetorians are moving up. They are walking. Don't want to exhaust them too much at the moment. If we lose control of this zone, yeah, they're heading into the Chosen Swordband. Probably a good bet. But as you see, we still have a little detachment force that they may know about, but they have decided is not worth going after, or they haven't noticed yet. 217 kills, it is getting away. I don't know how well it will do once to be perfectly honest, the headhunt wears off. Because it's at yellow morale with 375. The Galax firing right into those Galatian swords. With the gate busted open, he's going to be able to at least secure the central bit. Okay, it lives. It lives for now. Yeah, they're getting off, as you can see. Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, the gate's not destroyed yet. As you can see, more swords. We have a Galatian nobleman actually getting in right now. And the Praetorians are preparing, and Iceni is preparing. Averni looking like they're going to be meeting Iceni here. Exchanging those Chosens with Celtics, which means Kush and Gaty are over here. But nice little move. Getting right into those mercenary axemen. Over here, the mercenary axe has got a better charge in than against these guys. I think mercenary axes are going to win this fight, lose this fight right here. But the cavalry's coming back in force, and I'm trying to scare them away with my elephants, trying to almost like encircle them. Nice mass volleys. Oh no, that's not good. Yep. Well, these guys are definitely going to win this fight, and there is archer firing, so they're going to win both fights. But here comes the first of the Praetorians. And with the gate secured, Iceni can kind of move in himself. Yeah, 312 kills already. Sadly, bad fire against the ballista. Hopefully he stops that. Yep, the noble horsemen going to be maneuvering up. 72 men left. Yep, Iceni coming on in to help finish off these mercenary axes. I mean, they're being shot in the side, but they don't care. The next point of egress, of course, is here, and it does look like Kush is formed up on this side to kind of sweep down and hold the flank that Iceni's on a bit as well. But the Legionnaires joining this. This is a rout. Those mercenary axes are going to drop. And we're going to have a full, wide open. This is perfect for me, to be perfectly honest. Because it's going to let my elephants in without getting stuck too badly. Praetorian guards and Praetorian guards are moving in. Over here, Chosen Swordband beating the Celtics here. Trying to retake control of the gate, but they're going to fail there. More of these heavy spears moving up. Heavy spears are an interesting unit. They're very specialized to anti-cav and defending, but they will not kill a lot. I don't know why he's popping cavalry counter tactics, to be honest. Bonus versus mountain units is what it gives you. So I don't know why he's doing it against the axes. It does just exhaust him. As you can see here, Praetorian, and those Galatian noblemen. We're going to make a nice quick work of this front line. To be honest, if I was Galatia, maybe the only thing I would do is sneak a unit like that. Just shatter that completely. But at this point, it's a moot point because that is a disciple, and those are some heavy spears coming in. How's the rest of the army going? Yep. Army's there. I'm down to 3 Praetorian Guard. They beat up and backed off. They were getting shot by the slingers. As you can see, the mercenary axe is pushing back because they know they're about to get surrounded. 70 kills. Nice. The biggest point when you have the infantry advantage like this is to be aggressive. You cannot sit back. You have to constantly push, push, push. As you can see, just overwhelming the defenses, continuing to push, crushing line after line. That's what you have to do. Archer fire on the flank here. Yeah, Chosen Swordband cannot advance down that pathway or they'll get surrounded. So if they move down here, this unit will come this way. If they move this way, this unit will come here and take the point. So they're kind of stuck at an impasse. So the main point of contention right now is through the center. Because the other issue with the side is that's a lot of disciples, and we have a scorpion on this hill. That is dangerous. Tarsus has quite a few good scorpion spots. You have there. You have, of course, up here. If you end up getting there, even down here. Just some nice scorpion spots on these, on this point right here. As you can see, slight incline. A lot of good places you can end up with a Scorpion. As you can see, the Chosen Swords are dying, thanks in part to the Praetorian and the archers together. Legatus maneuvering in. But now we have the Galatian Swords. They are, well, moving in themselves. You can see moving up this way to almost act as a buffer so that Iceni can now move down this way. A nice little freshen up on the Praetorians so they can keep going. And some Galatian legionnaires flowing in. Yeah, they're just sneaking in and out. You can see them 64 kills now. They're just popping in and out, doing a little bit of damage and backing off. It doesn't help that these heavy spheres are just getting slaughtered by arrows, but 87 melee defense, they actually do very well when they're not facing Praetorians. Honestly, the scary part is this Disciple isn't engaged right now, but they do have the scare ability. But Praetorians, on the other hand, Praetorian Guard, have a beautiful little I believe they have Encourage. Yeah, Encourage. Which is why they're so important. I back that Praetorian off. It's exhausted. One of the elephants has moved up a little bit. And over here we can see more Celtic warriors. As I said here, look at that. The engagement's going on over here. Pretty even fight. But the center is starting to crumble. Like, they're going to need some more damage in this. They're going to need more bodies into the meat grinder if they want to win, and they want to continue to get those shots in the flank. But elephants coming on in. Right on through, and they somehow get stuck on the corridor. They cannot get past the Disciples, which is going to be a very unfortunate move. Because now the fire arrows are going to come in, and to be perfectly honest, this would have been perfect. If I could have gotten all that, it would have been perfect, but now they're immediately out of control. They're only at 24 kills. Joe, with his true mindset, Levy Freeman lives do not, in fact, matter. Just keep the enemies there and unable to push, and keep the elephants in this zone. But at the same time, we have a Spear Horseman coming on out to try to hit the flanks. And just completely coincidentally, the auxiliary African elephants are coming out via terror, trying to break through. A middle fight here. Praetorians still pushing. On this flank now, it's the Galatians now pushing in. And the Praetorian... No, the Disciples still are not engaged. They're slightly engaged as some of the infantry has moved around the corridor, but they're still not getting engaged in the fight. Over here, Chosen Swords against Galatian Swords, backed up by Sword Band. Think the Chosens will eventually lose. Yeah, get them out of there. Let the Sword Band take the blows first. But the issue is this Chosen Sword Band is about to shatter. And they're about to get flanked. More infantry needs to get in. Yep, Galatians going in. Because they need to. Into the Withering Arrow fire, but... this fight over here is a little contentious, for sure. Elephants back in. There's 60-something kills. Out of control again. And most of them are dead, but they did get over 100 kills on... to be honest, completely on Disciples. Over 100 Disciple kills is not bad. To tear that number down a little bit. And there it goes. One elephant down. Pretty lackluster. And a little annoying because they somehow got stuck on that corridor, because that would have been perfect, to be perfectly honest. Because they had no infantry there. That could stop me. No Pila. It would have only been archers. Galatian swords doing what they can. Heroic nobles trying to get in. Trying to break down this corridor, to be honest. Galatian swords moving back around. Another unit of Galatian swords being put into the meat grinder. These Praetorians still going. Same with these. But eventually these Praetorians, 76 here, 98 there, they are losing their numbers. To prevent that again, some heavy spears are moving over to the flank. One of the archers out of ammo, so they're getting on in. Ooh, that's not good. They got the attacked in rear penalty. Those sword band are going to die. See, they're stuck on that corridor as well. Battle rhythm popped. Try to carve into these guys. With that, they're no longer attacked in the rear, so they're no longer down. For 100 kills. Trying to get the Praetorians against those disciples. Trying to make sure they can't get a brutal charge in. Trying to limit their effectiveness, because one of their biggest effective moves is that charge itself. Will, like any shock infantry, will start to crumble the enemy, then with headhunt, kind of finish them off. So if you can minimize one of the two elements, either by shooting them and them not having numbers, or by limiting that charge, they can do some real damage. But to be honest here, I'm going to have to put more Praetorians into the fight because we do not have enough infantry in the center. How's that nobleman doing? Yes, 136 kills. Wonderful. Yeah, a lot of his Galatian swords are being targeted. He did focus his legionnaires the right way. But the Praetorians are not looking healthy, to be honest. Yep, they're facing front for those archers. They're just going to get in the melee, where the enemy are dealing with it. What are we looking at over here? Heroic nobles pulled back. They took some damage, that's for sure. And that's because there's now an Oathsworn in the fight. The legionnaires are maneuvering their way to join this fray. Yeah, those Galatian swords are going to be dead in a second. There's another Oathsworn over there. That is dangerous. Yeah. And we need a breakthrough somewhere, otherwise we are screwed. 278, 290. Come on, Galatian noblemen, don't die on me. Yeah, that Oathsworn is carving. Already 82 kills. Luckily, it looks like we've forced them to use a lot of ammo, but Slave Slingers are moving up. They've got ammo to spare. Noble Sword General. This Royal Kushite is still healthy, archer-wise. And there's still a Scorpion on that hill. Another heavy spear still here. Yep, and those Praetorians against those heavy spears. What do we got over here? Legionnaires versus Oathsworn, and that's a head-on. That's going to be the end of those Legionnaires 100%. Yep, you can see they're just... They're killing the Gallics. They're not even killing. 69 kills, nice. They're at 121. They were at 122 at the start of this headhunt. Let's see what these guys drop to kills. Now, it looks like they're killing a lot, but remember there are Gallic hunters in the fight. Alright. Yeah, they lost 2 men. And they've lost nearly 20. So that's not healthy at all. These guys still have ammo. At least that one does. So that is dangerous as well. And you can see here that shield screen preventing anyone from getting down that corridor again. Because look at all these archers. Just firing down into the center fight. Wonderful job. A little different angle from Tarsus, to be perfectly honest. Tarsus is usually on this side over here. You normally see the fight, so we wanted to shake things up. But again, Legatus in the fight here, trying to give advantages where we can. Praetorian are pushing back now that some more Galatians are getting in. To be perfectly honest, these guys need it. So exchanging out with a lot of the Legionnaires. And one of the Praetorians back in just strike into the Oathsworn and try to crumple them. As you can see, doing well, and the General for Arverni is dead. Which, as you can see, is causing that morale debuff, which could shatter the center. And if that center actually shatters, we can start funneling this way and this way. Yep, there it goes. As you can see. Basically trying to hold this gap open. They're not going to win against a headhunt. Yeah, they're just getting crushed. But we got more people funneling in, and this one's about to break as well. And if this shatters, we can start formally basically pushing this way, and not as bad being shot by arrows. Top of that Oathsworn is down to 75. That one's still up to 115. And that heavy spear has broken, so now the corridor is open. Noble Sword General doing what he can. Out of ammo, Gallics. Stop trying to stop me. Nice little javelin volley. Yeah. 114 kills. 39. What do we got here? Healthy Chosen Swordband. Some of these Galatians, yeah. Real damage. This Praetorian, sadly, is going to be dying soon because that is a bunch of disciples and a noble sword. And they will carve through me. But the noble sword is backing off, luckily. Yep, Disciples trying to charge in because they are not a good force to sit in the front lines with. Prolonged combat is not their greatest strength, but they can actually succeed in it a lot of the times. Almost at 100. What does this one do? Does increase weapon damage, so that is a pretty dangerous combo. Elephants flowing around. Noble Horse still outside. Especially because despite us breaking through the center, we are being shattered on the flank. Disciples of Epidemac win in this fight here, it looks like. Be honest, I am scared to move elephants over there because of all the archers. Legatus scouting. And about to be able to flank charge as Oathsworn. Just waiting for the headhunt to end, because I charged them initially, forced them to use their headhunt. Alright, it's gone. Legatus one side, Praetorian on the other, and that should be the end of this Oathsworn. And the Oathsworn in the center is shattered as well. So to be perfectly honest, this is going to be a good position for us. You don't want to keep that Legatus in the fight because it's a 40-man unit. Cavalry there, they still have that Noble Horseman. 402 kills. But those guys are forced to go because guess what? Iceni has managed to take that gate. Scorpion is forced to fire because now he has no path of retreat. Except for going forward and around. It's the only way he can. But with this, we've secured a large swath of the outer walls. And the enemy has kind of been forced back to here and to here. Outside, Disciples are trying to do some damage. Noble Horse, wonderful job paying attention to that. Probably going to do some pretty decent damage overall. 12 kills on the Disciples, but keep cycling charging and they're going to die pretty easily. But over here, a lot of the Disciples are going, and we have someone's firing poison shot. I don't think it's the Syrians, because I don't think the Syrians have poison. So it has to be the Royal Kushites, lowering melee, honestly, lowering melee attack and weapon damage, which is interesting. Over here, we need to secure this arrow tower, so we can secure our flanks and kind of form more people in. Noble Horse is winning this fight, as you can see. Disciples getting cut down. But we now have a Slave Singer trying to damage our Noble Horse, which can be dangerous. Yep, and you can see he's already pulling back. Disciples versus Legionnaire. I do not know who's going to win it, especially with the pathfinding being a little weird, it looks like. Yeah. That's, to be honest, probably a Legionnaire loss right there completely. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, they're being carved. Look at those numbers, just one a second, one a second. But Ballista Crew to the rescue. Brave 40, going to rear charge. How many kills is that? 216, holy shit. Over here, Legate is trying to force the archers back. Another Disciple over here, still full health. Didn't want to miss this charge about to happen. He'll eventually charge in. Yep, there he goes. Brave 40 to the rear with their little daggers. They're doing great. Don't mind the fact that they're getting stabbed completely. But we're trying to get the attacked in rear penalty, to be perfectly honest. Legionnaires are, I mean, they took a hit. They were pretty much full health. Then again, so was this one. They're now getting targeted by javelins as well. Brave 40 are already gone. They got one kill, I think. But the Noble Horse coming in the rear should break them, yep. As you can see, that Galatian Legionnaire has taken a ton of damage. Spear Horseman backing off. Noble Horseman being forced to back off as well. Legatus coming around doing what he can. And now that that tower is secure, elephants can start maneuvering kind of this way. Trying to avoid engaging the Disciples. You can see 231 kills, 168, like 199. One of the most brutal Kush armies is not all armored Shotels. It is 7 disciples of a Piedmach. I think Norris has really mastered it, to be honest. More so than this army. I don't think you need all those slave slingers. And he has really mastered it and used it to great effect, let's say. Yep, dead Dacian Bowman. Now we can prepare for the hill. Elephants took a wider route around, and they're getting ready too. Trying to distract them with the infantry up front. Over here, we're winning as well. We got a nice little Galatia blob. My Legatus had to get involved against some of these noble horsemen. But yeah, 440. Oh my god, look at those kills. Like, they're not going out without a fight. Those levies, or those noble horsemen are doing well. My Legatus is almost dead. Trying to just keep harassing the nobles. .460 there. They're not breaking through the Britain Slingers and they can't really get out, luckily. And we have elephants right into the flank. Yeah, I've had some weird pathing issues with the elephants. So, there we go. They're out of control, but that's fine. They're there to run amok. Praetorians win. And we're just going to back off and let the elephants do their thing. While Galatia enforce maneuvers around the flanks. 91 kills here on the Scorpion, but, like, there is very little left that the enemies can do. Legatus did win with no help at all. Confirmed Legatus is better than Noble Horseman. Obviously. As you can see, side shots into the Noble Sword, which is one of the last real boys. Scorpion needs one more kill. One more kill. They got it. They got it with the body piercing shot before they got crushed. But with that, everything's dying. That's going to be it. Victory on Tarsus. And this is truly the best army comp. As always for Rome, I've always liked this army comp better than the traditional Rome builds. Because you have a lot of punching power and elite infantry. But a little bit about the fight. Who did well, who did badly, or what went well, what went badly. Attacker-wise, I think the push in the middle was a necessary meat grinder. But to be honest, what went well is not containing ourselves just to the center. You saw push on the outside, on the right-hand side, which when one of those two broke, which happened to be the middle in that case, it got enemies out of position, got 2 Oathsworn killed who relatively, if we just pushed to the middle, would have been safer. What went bad? I think reacting... what went bad? I don't think anything really went bad, per se. Biggest thing was the elephants getting stuck on the corner. If they didn't, that probably wouldn't even been worthy of a replay because the elephants would have just slaughtered so much of the corner that it wouldn't have been a fight. Defender side went really good. Initial sally out, that was incredibly well played by both a little bit of RD and Armored. But on top of that, when we were breaking through the center, RD pushing along the side with his disciples, getting some real damage in, doing what he can to just stay on the offensive even when they were being pushed back. What went poorly, I think the biggest part that went poorly was honestly who they were targeting with the ranged. A lot of the targets, as I saw, as every time we jumped over, were Galatian swords and lighter Galatian units when Praetorian guards had their back to him. I think he had to focus down the Praetorians. Probably would have been the best way to secure victory, because your infantry could have broken through eventually these heavy armored mid-tier, but less so the Praetorians. But let's get into the how everyone did. And of course, no one gets this far, but if you think someone else did very well that I missed, or did very poorly that I didn't mention, just let me know in the comments. But no one gets this far, so I've never had a comment on it, so I'm perfect in my coverage. Galatia, 252 for his General Noble Horse, and still almost completely untouched. Wonderful job. 110 there. Galatian Legionnaires, 160, 178, 182, 128, 179, 172. All of them getting over 100 kills. Galatian Noblemen, 138. Swords, 105. And that's pretty much it. 74 in a Levy Freeman, that's actually really good. Joe as Iceni. Heroic Noble, 179. 219 on that Ballista, wonderful job. 118 on that Burden Slinger, but Chosen Swords, one getting 118. Swordband, one getting 138. Lastly, but certainly not least, Roma. Rome here brought to you by me. 163 on those elephants, 103 on those elephants, but you can see a little chevron there because of the high tier they killed. Poor little guy didn't get over 100 kills, but the rest of the Praetorians, 256, 298, 124, 281. Socii Stati, 116, 153. So pretty good showing all around. Defender side, RD here, bringing that brutal Kush army. 102 on that Scorpion. This is why I say, I think our instead of slingers, Inors brings, and instead of the Scorpion, Inors brings Kushite slave infantry, which tends to round out. And his little trick is Kushite slaves and disciples have the same unit card. So if you see Kushite slaves in the battle and he sneaks in disciple, and a lot of times people aren't paying attention, and all of a sudden that front crumbles. But 102 for that Scorpion. And then for the disciples, 241, 179, 210, 122, or 121, 211. So a lot of good kills there with a very small army. Armored here with that initial sally out, and of course a lot of the holding units, but 463, 135 for those noble horsemen. Dacian Bowman, 126, 110. Falksman, 157, 155. Wonderful job there. None of the heavy spears getting really good, the highest being 43, but they're meant to hold, they're meant to fight against cavalry, and they did one of their two jobs, which was holding. Mercenary axes, 112, then the spear horsemen as well, 133, 108. Good job overall, especially with that cavalry and some of those foxes. Averni, the last army, 201 on that Oswald General, 141, and this is from Eclipse, I apologize. Gallic Hunters, 141, 136, 133. Celtic Warriors, none of them getting over 100, but 90 being the highest. Chosen Swords, 114, 69, nice. And 133, and one other Oswern getting 150 kills. This is where I meant where I think the best play for us was widening the front so that these guys were out of position. These two Oswern, once the center crumbled, were completely out of position, and they got surrounded and crushed. But other than that, that is the battle. Next week, we are going to see what happens when people take aggression too far. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. But I hope you all enjoyed. Bye for now.